Could you please start off by introducing yourself, what you drive, and what you do with your business?
Sure. My name is Faruk Kugay. I drive a couple different things. I have a S14, has a 2J in it. I have an S13 that has a 2J in it. And those are and then I daily a Prius. So
Yeah, I've seen you in the Prius at Sonoma Drift. What made you get into cars?
Just my dad. I mean, just, he wasn't into racing by any means, but he loved, growing up, we had a 96 Camry, right? And this thing was pristine. It was, it was absolutely perfect. And the love that he had for just cars in general, like the way he maintained it and just, always checked everything, just showed me essentially mechanical respect. Just being able to you bond with whatever you're working on.
So at what point did you try drifting?
So I started drifting almost unintentionally, where this was 2000. Started watching some Japanese drifting videos, and then I had an S13. I unintentionally downshifted in the middle of the corner, and the car kicked sideways, and then I just naturally laid into it and just kept going, and yeah, from there it just kind of developed. And
what made you want to compete?
What made me want to compete? So this is an interesting question because I started in the States. I actually was drifting at an event in 2004 at Sonoma, and I had a lot of fun with it, but honestly I wasn't taking it that seriously, and I was in some ways maybe frustrated, like a lot of people are, that they see their buddies doing big things. Like my buddies back then were going to FD and that kind of stuff, and I was like, you know what, I just need a change of pace, and I moved to Europe. And when I moved to Europe, I found an opportunity where I was teaching drifting, because there I knew a lot more than the guys out there did, and just kind of developed from there. I was teaching, judging, and doing every part of the sport, media also, and I just really wanted to get back to driving. I was like, you know what, I gotta prove it to myself, and so I decided to move back to the States and pursue going to FD. So in 2013, I moved back, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do this, and I did anything I could to compete in FD.
So what was the tipping point that made you fully commit? Kind of sounds like that was it.
That was it. Yeah, that was the tipping point. So when I commit to something, or when I decide to do something, I just do it. I kind of don't let anything hold me back in that way.
Was there ever a time you thought about giving up, and what made you stick with it?
Yeah, absolutely. You question what you're doing. The money investment is one thing, right? Because we, like a lot of other guys, we just work for this. It's not given to us, and the amount of effort that we put in to make it happen it's pretty incredible, right? And when things consistently, wow, that was a good one. Yeah. So when things consistently go wrong, it makes you question, why are you doing this? Why are you putting so much effort in? And what it comes down to is knowing that you wanting to do it is the most important thing, the process. The whole mantra is the juice worth the squeeze? And it is, usually. The processes that we go through in life, the tribulation just makes the highs feel even better, and if you don't keep pushing, you'll never get that pinnacle.
Absolutely. What do you think about the world of drifting and its rapid growth over the past decade?
So I've been doing this almost 20 years, and it's definitely grown over the last decade a lot. I think it's great. It gives an outlet to guys that are entering motorsports. The amount of knowledge you gain from drifting, either as a tech or as a driver, is unmatched. You can't learn this amount of stuff in another motorsport. I'm pretty confident in that, because it's unattainable. You can't, on the same budget that you can build a basic drift car, you can't build a super competitive track car, or a rally car. The cost of drifting can get pretty crazy, but you can also do it on a budget, and you can do it reasonably. And I think it's a really great entry level.
Do you plan to compete in the 2021 Formula Drift season?
Drum roll, right? Yeah. So I've not said it anywhere else, but no, I'm not. So I'm having a baby with my fiance. Yeah. So some family time and just enjoying life and doing a lot of demos, doing Drift Week and a couple other things. And we're just enjoying drifting rather than I've taken a year off a couple different times, and it's what I can do. There's no preconceived notions of me, of grandeur or anything like this. It's like I'm doing what I can afford, and I love doing it.
Absolutely. Well, do you have any goals for the 2021 year or season?
I do. So this is kind of that turned off. That's nice. Yeah. So this is an interesting thing where I think over the past few years I need to just straight up drive more. Like my 14 is absolutely incredible. I mean, the way that I put it together with the weight where it is, the power where it is. I mean, it makes 935 to the wheels at mid boost. The weight transfers are incredible because the radiator's in the center of the car. The car is phenomenal to drive. I'm at 35 psi on the rear tires, and keeping up with the guys that are running, in the teens. And it's an incredible car. I just need to drive it more, and that comes with Sonoma Drift. And once it starts running a little bit more smoothly and we get everything sorted out, exactly, just driving. And that's what the street car is for too. Building a street car just to have something that's a little bit more reasonable. It's 400 horsepower rather than. That's the Drift Week vehicle. So building a 2J S13, but it's a carb legal 2J. So at first we're doing a smaller single turbo from Borg, and then eventually when I come back from Drift Week, I'll do the stock twins. Sounds so good. Yeah.
Staring at the pink one back there.
Yep.
All right. What advice would you give to those that are interested in drifting?
Figure out what you want to do. Competing is not for everybody, and competing is an addiction. Like I am addicted to competing, and especially when, I'm the type of guy that if I'm hitting my head against a wall and I can't get through it, I'll just hit harder, and that's not sane, and that's also not healthy for most people. So if you want to do something in drifting, like Wednesday night program is amazing because it just gives the opportunity for people to drive. What they have going on up at Thunder Hill is great too, and just everybody, it's all about driving. So for people that want to get into drifting or are drifting already and kind of want to get to the next level, figure out what you want to do and make a clear path from A to Z to that. Where it's, I think a lot of people modify their cars and do things that kind of are tangents and don't really get them to their end goal. If you just want to have fun, make your car so that it's sustainable and can have a ton of fun. If you want to compete, build the car for that. But I think a lot of people there's so many options now, and you can do anything. The level of opportunity we have as drivers, as builders, is incredible. And just staying focused on one path at a time is super important because, yeah.
So since you are going to Drift Week next week, do you have anywhere we can follow you besides Instagram? Do you have a YouTube channel?
I do have a YouTube channel. We're going to start populating it more. It's just my name on YouTube. Instagram's pretty much what I do. I do a lot of media for other people, so this is the year that we're going to try to start doing a little bit more for myself. But yeah.
And then just to keep things light and fun, do you believe in ghosts?
Do I believe in ghosts? So I'll answer it this way, and you take from this whatever you want, right? So my fiance definitely believes in ghosts, and so if she hears a noise, I am definitely going to the next room to make sure that she's feeling safe, right? So you take that for how you will, but that's my belief in ghosts.
Okay. All right. Well, you put on Sonoma Drift and give back to the drift community often. We love to see that. Do you have any sponsors or support you'd like to shout out and thank?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of guys on the car and a lot of guys that help behind the scenes. One of the things I've been doing a lot, and I'm new to it, and a lot of people in the NorCal scene have already been doing it for years, is sim racing. I've just started doing that, and we are on Assetto Corsa with Link. So if you actually want to drive my pro car on Assetto Corsa, go check that out. We actually we spent hours and hours and hours making it feel like my car. So all the physics are there as well as we could. I'm not I'm very good at sim racing, but getting better. And yeah, we have a Discord that's the Link ECU Discord, and that's a great place that we can just kind of all hang out, and you can hear what I'm like after a couple beers, you know. And while I'm in my PJs in a couple beers, so it's a fun place to hang out. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, you too.